I don't need to tell you that making a relationship last takes a great deal of work. The problem is that a lot of people don't take the time to figure out what the root cause of the relationship problems actually are. Science has figured out the 3 most important traits that make a relationship last. It's based on the research of the biological anthropologist Helen Fisher. I'm going to share with you right now these 3 most important traits. Before I begin with the 3 traits, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment below with what you think of these 3 traits, and make sure you like the video so that we can spread this around the web and more people can see it. First trait, according to Helen Fisher, is the couple's ability to feel empathy for one another. I think it's really easy to fall into the trap of seeing yourself as the center of your own world and assuming that your partner can fit in with the way you want to live your life. Well, that's a recipe for disaster, because that's where the majority of arguments start to take root. But if you can actually develop some strategies and techniques where you learn to put yourself inside the other person's shoes, where you try to feel their pain and their struggles in life, or understand what really makes them tick, what makes them really happy, that's when arguments can dissolve much more easily. That's when you can actually find common ground, and you'll end up experiencing joy more regularly together as well. So the first trait is the ability to feel empathy with your partner. The second trait is something that I think a lot of us can use, not just in our relationships, but in our approach to many different facets of life, and that's our ability to control our stress in highly charged situations. You see, when couples get in arguments with each other, it's a very normal and natural thing when you're sharing space with someone, when you're connecting with someone so deeply and involved in all these different life situations. But if you can learn to dissolve the tension quite quickly, that puts you in a state when you're more likely to feel empathy, you're more likely to feel someone's pain, you're more likely to listen and really understand the root cause of what's going on. But if you're someone who gets highly charged in these situations and react very quickly, that's when the arguments really take root much more easily. This, according to the research, happens most commonly around arguments around money. It's one of the most stressful times in life, especially when couples are starting to share their finances and live life together, and that can really cause a lot of stress. So if you're in a relationship and you're finding yourself often involved in arguments and getting stressed quite easily, especially around money, it's worth developing some techniques where you can let go of that stress or learn to handle the stress much more easily. The third characteristic of highly successful relationships is the use of positive illusions. What this means is that when you're in a relationship, you develop a framework of thinking about your partner. You twist things around so you can see the positive side of what they're doing. For example, you might have a partner who is extremely focused and very ambitious a lot of the time. And that can really frustrate you because they're not spending enough time with you, they're just not around, they're always at work and things like that. Well, instead of focusing on the bad thing about it, they haven't got time for you, you can actually turn it around and think about the positive side of them being such a focused and driven person, always at work. You see, you can think it's amazing to have a partner who has ambition, who knows what they want to do with their life, who has direction, and that can be a very inspiring person to be around. So the third characteristic of highly successful relationships is this ability to flip the frame, to see the good side and to consistently see the best in your partner. So I think what this comes down to is that we can fall into the trap of living in our fantasies, of thinking that there's the perfect kind of love out there, and when we meet people and run into the first sign of trouble, we can let that go and live life with that image of perfection in our mind and keep on striving for more. Well, I think it's not the best pathway to take when it comes to love. What really matters is commitment, persevering, sticking it out, seeing the best in your partner. 3 characteristics we've been through really show that the most successful relationships have these qualities intact. So I think it's worth keeping that in mind next time you're in a relationship and things aren't going quite as well. If you think this is a good video and someone in your life can benefit from watching it, please do share it with them. That helps me to spread these videos around, and hopefully we'll get more people involved in the conversations. Let's get to know each other in the comments. I'd love to meet you down there. I reply to as many comments as I possibly can. Thanks so much for watching this video. See you next time.